Where the waters run deep, there's a tale of the pirates, a secret they keep. It's a fearsome tradition, known far and wide, called walking the plank, where fate's tide does decide. Oh, and a bottle of rum, to the plank we go under the sun. With a leap of faith, or a fearful glance, into the abyss, where shadows now dance. Caught in a pirate's embrace, and judgment is passed with a grim, stern face. They're brought to the edge where the ocean meets wood, to face their last moments as all pirates should. Oh, and a bottle of rum, to the plank we go under the sun. With a leap of faith, or a fearful glance, into the abyss, where shadows now dance. On the plank they stand amidst wind and spray, facing their fate at the end of the day. No mercy, no quarter, the code of the sea, where life is as fleeting as waves on the lee. What tales of the plank echo through time, a warning to all of the pirates that climb. For justice is swift on the merciless sea, where the plank waits space patiently for you and for me. But tales of the plank echo through time, a warning to all of the pirates that climb. For justice is swift on the merciless sea, where the plank waits space patiently for you and for you and for. Yo ho ho, and a bottle of rum, to the plank we go under the sun. With a leap of faith, or a fearful glance, into the abyss where shadows dance. So raise up your glasses to those lost at sea. Piledriver Pulse, hear the call. Warriors, class and legends rise. Piledriver Pulse, the ultimate prize. Piledriver Pulse, where dreams take flight. Feel the power, feel the fight. From suplexes to a high-flying dives. Piledriver Pulse, where passion thrives. WrestleMania to the indie halls, where champions dance and wrestling scores. With every pinfall, with every hold, Piledriver Pulse, the stories unfold. Piledriver Pulse, the journey's true. Piledriver Pulse, where legends unite. Tune in now, feel the
What is going on, Misfit Nation? Welcome back to another episode of the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Matt, the Misfit. This is the Piledriver Pulse. I don't even know what episode we're on anymore because I've done lost count. We're at like 200 something. Anyways, do me a big favor. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. YouTube.com/Misfit Wrestling Podcast. The links of the social medias in the description below. I'm not even going to go through them tonight because we got a lot of stuff to go over. We're going to go, winter is coming. Well, it came, but it wasn't a very good show. To be honest with you, there may be like two things on this show that I liked. We'll talk about that. We're also going to talk about NXT because I forgot to do. I should be really doing the NXT shows. I don't know why. I don't know. We'll hopefully I'm going to get back to doing NXT like I said I was going to do. Maybe next week. Maybe I don't know. We'll see. There'll be a little. We'll talk about this interesting stuff happening on that show. Some news came out today about the Winged Eagle belt. We're going to talk about that. Some matches been announced for AEW's World and pay-per-view. Also, some matches announced for I guess there's an updated card for STARDOM Dream Queendom if I can find it. And I added some new things to the year-end awards. This is going to be going public live on sometime immediately after, I want to say, sometime after, if I can remember what it's called, sometime after Saturday night's main event, which I will be right here for. So that's up in the thing. We also are going to talk about the, because I did a live watch along with my friend Jason Ingram when we did the watch along for Stardom's Goddess of Stardom Tag League Finals. We know when the match for the tag team titles are going to be taking place. We also found out on December the 26th, or not December the 26th, December the 24th, New Year's. What's the day? What is that damn? Christmas Eve. We found out when Miyu Amazaki is going to defend her future championship against, oh my god, who was it? I think it was Sayaka. I think it was Sayaka Kurara or Aya Sakura. One of the two. It's going to happen on that show. We're going to talk about that. We got some news we're going to get through first before we're actually, you know what? I'm going to save the news for after we get through the other stuff here. Which we're going to start with AEW Dynamite Winter is coming. That is something that just happened here. So we got the results up for the show. The show is all right, I guess. Dynamite, it's been okay. I mean, it's not like, the greatest thing in the world here. A lot of weird ass finishes, though. I'll be honest with you. Outside of the main event, which basically got a clean finish, everything else was like a roll up or a disqualification or some stupid ass shit, and it was kind of bullshit if I'm being honest here, and I kind of hated it. Really did. I really did. We had Jon Moxley and Pac of the Death Riders. They opened up the team with Jay White and Orange Cassidy. This was kind of set up last week. The match was fine. I enjoyed the match. Just the fucking finish that I had with it was, for some reason, I thought there was something over there. I was looking at something over there. I didn't like the fact that they had the DQ finish, which I guess it was a disqualification. A lot of people told me there was a bell wrong. I didn't hear one. But let me see if I can fix my camera here. Let's see, where are we at? Is my camera good? Is my camera good here? I usually have to fix my camera angle because sometimes the camera's like up here and down here and stuff. Because I can figure out that I can actually sit it underneath my keyboard and get it facing me instead of going all the way around. It was very weird. Anyway, let me get back to what I was talking about here. So I didn't like that. The DQ finish. It was Hangman Page came in at the end of that and started attacking. I think it was Jon Moxley. And, at some point, the Bryce Remsburg, who's a fucking terrible referee, he called for the belt, did all that stuff here. Then we had a promo, I believe, might have been after that. Jon Moxley basically said fatal 4-way. So at Winter's coming at World's End, we're going to have Jon Moxley defending the AEW Championship against Orange Cassidy, Hangman Page, and Jay White in a fatal 4-way. If I was booking the show, I would absolutely have Moxley drop the title because Moxley is not doing a damn thing of a bit of a difference here as the AEW champion. What he said, they're saying things that Jon Moxley is hurting AEW by doing what? Doing what? Come on now. So that happened. Then we had our first Continental Classic gold match in the Gold League for the night. Will Ospreay defeating Claudio Castagnoli. Claudio and Will Ospreay now sitting at, I believe it's now they both have the same amount of points here. I'm actually going to get the standings here so I can have them here. So current standings, well, actually I'll talk about that when we get to that whole thing here. So let me see if we can find it. December 11th. Here we go. All right. So fine match. Good little match here. Claudio's great. Will Ospreay's great. But it was pretty good. Some of the Continental Classic matches usually are good, and I understand the whole, the Continental Classic not really connecting with the live audience. Because again, the casual fan, this is something. Listen, I've been preaching for a G1 type thing for AEW or WWE. Now we're getting one with the Continental Classic, but the average Joe on a Wednesday night who watches only WWE and AEW is not going to give a single fuck about a round robin tournament, right? Like you and I who watch other things outside of WWE and AEW, like I watch New Japan, I watch Stardom, I know about round robin tournaments. They do the like I said, Stardom and New Japan just finished up their tag league tournaments. New Japan, what's going on, John Elite? Yeah, but yeah, it's just the G1. The only difference is they get the 3 points instead of what was it 2? And also Stardom has the other one, the 5-star, and obviously the G1. But so for us wrestling fans who watches the other outside stuff, we love it. I just know that the average viewer doesn't care, right? So this is the first time since the second G1, the second C2 has started, where it didn't main event the show. So, but again, Will Ospreay's great, Claudio's great. Will Ospreay earned himself 6 points here. We had a Diamond Dozen match, which this probably, and I love Kyle O'Reilly. I love Adam Cole. This might have been the worst match they've ever had with each other. I remember the matches in Ring of Honor. I remember the match they had for the Ring of Honor World Title. I believe it was. Let me see if I can find the actual match for that, because I know it was for the Ring of Honor Championship. Let me see. Adam Cole. Let's see. One matches here. Let's see. Ring of Honor. I know it was in Ring of Honor for the Ring of Honor. Yeah. Okay. So it was Final Battle, Ring of Honor World Championship, and it was a fantastic match, right? Yes, it was a fantastic match, but they had an even better match at Wrestle Kingdom. So, actually, it wasn't that bad. Actually, no, I corrected myself. I think the new, it might have been, it's either the Final Battle match in 2016, or it was, it was the No Holds Barred match. Super Crown of Honor 10 was their best match they had. They had that match at the NXT Um, well, not in AEW, but in Ring of Honor, it absolutely was. The closest thing you had to a chant for Gargano. They tried to recapture it in NXT. It just didn't work. People weren't buying O'Reilly as a babyface, unfortunately. And I like Kyle O'Reilly. Adam Cole was just too cool to be hated, right? Their best match in NXT as in the feud was obviously the Great American Bash match that they had on. It was free television. Who else was on that show, by the way? If I can find that out here, let me look that up here. Here we go. Great American Bash. Yeah, so it was the main event. There was another great match on that show that I can't. Oh yeah, it was MSK versus Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa, which was another great match. That was for the NXT tag titles. That unsanctioned match just was too damn long. I really fell asleep watching that match, unfortunately. The best 2 out of 3 falls match that they had at that Takeover 36 was not very good. But yeah, they had 3 matches, Stand and Deliver, which was quite boring and too long. The Great American Bash, which was the best one out of the 3, and then obviously the 3 Stages of Hell match that they had at 36. So, but this was probably the worst match that they've had. This was not very good. And now we're getting Adam Cole versus MJF, which I'm not looking forward to. If I'm being honest here, I don't care. I don't care for Adam Cole versus MJF. I don't give a shit about MJF. MJF is boring to me. He was boring as a babyface. MJF does the same shit. He does the same character. You see, with Toni Storm, man, we'll talk about her because she came back earlier tonight. But we'll talk about her. I'm going to use her as an example. At some point, that whole rocker gimmick that she's been doing for, what is it? How long has Toni Storm been wrestling? Toni Storm has been wrestling since. Let's look. Toni Storm has been wrestling since. Let me look here. Storm has been wrestling since 2009. So that's, let's see. 2009, 2000. Hold on a second. Oh, let me go back to my standard calculator here. 2009, 2024. Yeah, so she's been wrestling for around 15 years, right? So, I don't know when she started doing the rocker gimmick, but when she started it, she had done it from her time in Stardom, in WXW, in Progress, and going into AEW, and a little bit on the main roster. And then, but that gimmick was only going to go so far, so they finally gave her the other gimmick, that stupid ass Outcast crap, which didn't go anywhere. But then she struck gold with Timeless Toni Storm, right? And she had to reinvent herself, and it worked. You've got to, and obviously she's back as not Timeless Toni Storm. But the point I was trying to make here, MJF needs to change something. I cannot keep listening to the same. Oh, I'm in a town I don't like. I'm gonna run it down. We're gonna call your girlfriend, some derogatory terms, and I get laid more than you do. All that crap. That's got to change, right? If you notice, I'm wearing Hikaru Shida, who was not on the show, who deserved better by AEW. I'm just saying. But all that stuff here. It sounds like I'm reviewing AEW's Dynamite show. Normally, I don't do that on Wednesdays, but we're doing Piledriver Pulse, so we're going to be doing some of that other stuff there. But point taken, I don't care about MJF versus Adam Cole, so there's that. We got another Gold League match in the Continental Classic. We had Ricochet, unfortunately, defeating Brody King. Still a great match, though. I don't care for Ricochet in AEW. He just feels like another guy to me. yeah, basically. But Brody King is a beast. Brody King deserves better than what they're in this. I really thought they were going to do more with Brody King in this tournament. And I made the suggestion to I don't remember who it was, but because I still think Malachi Black is on his way back to WWE, and I said, you know, what would be great is if Brody King came over. I would love to see how, because he loves booking these Haas fight matches, this Triple H. We saw that with Bronson Reed, by the way. Bronson Reed, hope he gets a speedy recovery. He had his surgery today on his ankle. He's going to unfortunately miss WrestleMania, which sucks for him because he was doing pretty good stuff here when it comes to feud-wise. Not feud-wise, but he was getting a significant push. But you know, I feel bad because I was one of the people that wanted him to do the tsunami off the top of the cage, and he paid for it. It looked cool, but he paid for it, unfortunately. But again, Triple H likes to need Haas battles, and I would have loved to see Brody King go to WWE and have matches with a Bronson Reed, with a Gunther, with a Braun Strowman, and some of these other big. Oba Femi versus Brody King sounds fucking badass. Okay. Buddy Matthews resigned with AEW earlier this year, so he's going nowhere. The belief is Malachi Black's contract ends early 2025. I don't know about Brody King's, but Buddy Matthews is going nowhere. But again, like those names, Brody versus Oba Femi, Brody versus Gunther, Brody versus Bronson Reed. Those Haas, Brody versus Eric Rowan again. You can give me some of that, you know, like, yeah. I don't know. I just like to see that. House of Black versus Wyatt Six, maybe. Who knows? You know. But again, like I said, Buddy Matthews is locked in for a while. I don't even know. I unfortunately don't see Brody going with Malachi. But we'll see. But yeah. So here is the standings for the Blue League, right? Not the Blue League, the Gold League now. We're going to go over the current standings of that. So we have a three-way tie with 6 points, that being Claudio, Will Ospreay, and Ricochet. Also, they'll follow that up with Darby Allin, who has 3 points, who will meet Will Ospreay next week at Holiday Bash, which I'm still expecting at this time. I'm expecting Will Ospreay to possibly win the Gold League, and then Brody King has 3 points, and Commander has no points as we know, Commander is taking over in the spot of Juice Robinson, who unfortunately got hurt on Collision a few weeks ago, and he was pulled from the stuff. Now we might as well talk about the Gold League, the Blue League now. So right now in the lead of the Blue League is Kyle Fletcher, who got one of the biggest career wins of his career earlier this on Saturday night when he beat Kazuchika Okada, the current Continental Classic. No, he's not the Continental Classic champion, but he's the current title holder of the Continental. I don't know how how this is going to make sense here. I'm assuming even if Okada doesn't go far in the tournament, which at this point he doesn't look like he is, I'm assuming Okada's going to have to defend that championship. Maybe, I don't know. So does Okada not? So my question here is, it's something I've been trying to figure out. So this got this whole Continental Classic thing, and we got a physical championship that being worn by Okada. Does Okada just lose it by not actually losing the title? Is that what I'm understanding here? Because I'm still not understanding. Like, it would make more sense if Okada wasn't in the tournament and the winner had to face Okada in the I don't know. Okada's not winning the C2. Okada, what is Okada's current? Let's see what Okada's current thing is. So we're looking at it. Okada could actually. Where's Okada Okay, so Okada's got 4 points right now, but I don't think he's winning the C2. Because right now, like I said, Kyle Fletcher's in the lead at 9. That's followed by Okada and Garcia, who both have 4 points. We have Mark Briscoe and Shelton Benjamin 3, and the Beast Mortos has 0. So let's get the current. So we have being filmed right now on. No, actually no. Is it going to be? No, it's being filmed tomorrow or tonight or something. I don't know. Anyways, Beast Mortos is going to take on Okada. Mark Briscoe is going to take on Kyle Fletcher. I don't see Mark Briscoe winning that one, and I don't see Beast Mortos getting a win either. Okada's going to win that one, so that would give Okada 3 points. So 4 plus 3 would be. So that would be set. Well, he could actually, the more I think about it, because that would give Okada 7 points if he beats the Beast Mortos. So maybe. But what happens if Okada wins his his block, or are you talking about like the whole C2? If he wins the whole C2, then I guess he remains the champion. But I'm trying to figure out like what happens if it's not Okada and so if Okada's not in the finals at all. Is he no longer the champion? Like that's what I'm trying to figure out. But what I was trying to suggest was, if you're gonna have a Continental Classic, don't have the Continental Champion in the Continental Classic. Have the winner face the current champion next time. Because I believe the runner-ups. What is this year's runner-up? What is the ruling of this year's Continental Classic? The runner-ups here. Let me see if we can find it here. So, yeah, let me find it. So the runner-ups, I believe, get a title match or something. We're trying to see what the. Okay, so all right. So the format for the finals was changed so that the block winners would face the runner-ups from the opposite block. So I'm assuming. So if I can say this here, so we're gonna have runner-up in the. So the blue league leader is going to take on the runner-up leaguer, gold league leader, and vice versa. So for example, let's say Will Ospreay wins the gold league. He will be facing on against whoever which I'm going to assume is going to be Okada. So we get Okada, Will Ospreay, which is probably a match that's going to be happening on the pay-per-view. Then we would have Kyle Fletcher, who I think is going to win the blue league, take on somebody, maybe a Claudio, maybe a Ricochet. So we'll see on that. I am not entirely sure on that. We had some other backstage segments. Private Party, who gives a private party crap. I don't. I used to like the Private Party. I don't know. It's just they kind of ruined a lot of stuff for me here. I don't care about Mercedes, so fuck that off right now. But I should. While I'm at it, I'm actually going to bring up. If I can find. Okay, here we go. I was trying to find the thing here. So. Okay, so they're taping Collision tomorrow. They're taping Rampage now. Okay, so that makes a lot more sense. That didn't make any sense to me. But Holiday Bash 2024. Let's look at so all we know is Will Ospreay versus Darby Allin, who's going to be having Gold League match, and then Mercedes Moné is going to defend, actually wrestle on the show for once against Anna Jay. So we have the main event. Mariah May defending and retaining the AEW Women's Championship against Mina Shirakawa. I didn't actually think Mina was going to win here, mainly because I do think Mina's going back to Stardom because I believe she's not currently booked for Dream Queendom, but I I already know that they're going to just have her on the show. They kind of feel like that's going to happen here. But that's not the talking point of this show here, of this match here. I mean, it looks great. By the way, it looks great. I did think it was kind of funny seeing Thunder Rosa. It was random as hell, but Thunder Rosa was in the crowd. She had signs of saying, Mariah May, you may not, or something. And then when Toni Storm came out, it said, what the fuck on it. So I don't know what, I mean, if you want to get on the show, fine. Anything to get that woman on the show. But Toni Storm came out with her old gimmick, her old looks, her old gear. It's a black gear, but the theme song, which is a great theme song, by the way, which again reminds me, which is the most, it reminds me of Heart. Okay, if you know your rock and roll history, that's who you know who Heart is. But it's more obvious now. Mariah May is going to defend. So I don't know if Toni Storm's going to be the next challenger. I wouldn't do that match yet. Mainly because, and let me look up. So World's End, we got Wrestle Dynasty, so that's coming up shortly here. Actually, we have our first. By the way, I might have to update this thing here. So give me a second. So Athena, but if you don't want to know, Athena is heading to the Tokyo Dome. It's fine by me, but we'll talk about that in a second. So we have Wrestle Dynasty coming up, but Grand Slam in Australia is going to happen in February. And I heard Solo Monster talk about this, and I agree with this, actually. I would do Mariah May versus Thunder Rosa at World's End. Do that match, because you don't have Thunder Rosa in there for no reason. You do that. And then you save Toni Storm winning back the AEW, because I think Toni Storm is going to win the championship back. I think you do Toni Storm winning the title back in her home country of Australia. Actually, she's not from Australia. She's from New Zealand. What am I talking about? What the fuck am I talking about? She's from New Zealand. What the? Wow. Oh my God, she's from New Zealand, right? I'm pretty sure she's from New Zealand. No. Okay, so she's New Zealand, Austrian born. So I'm assuming. So, okay, so she moved to Australia at age 4. So she is technically from Australia too. So back all the shit I just set up. I don't know where the fuck I was going with that. So you do Toni Storm versus Mariah May. I would actually main event Grand Slam with Toni Storm winning the AEW Women's Championship. Or, actually, there's two people I absolutely see being on that show in big matches. Toni Storm being one of them, and the other one being Buddy Matthews. I think Buddy Matthews will win the international championship in Australia. Yep. I don't actually remember who is. Oh, it's Konosuke Takeshita. I think Konosuke Takeshita is going to be champion for a while. I do think he's going to go into Wrestle Kingdom as the not the Continental champion, the other champion, the international champion, and he's going to go into Wrestle Dynasty, going against Ishii. Maybe we'll see on that one. But I think it's going to see. That's the two matches I'm thinking about for Dynasty. So welcome to the stream, Chris. Oh, okay. So my thing, right? And this is I think it's going to be. And I was talking about, like I said, two big matches. I think it's going to be taking place in Australia, Grand Slam. One being Buddy Matthews versus Takeshita for the International Championship, and then Toni Storm versus Mariah May World Women's Championship. And I would actually main event that show with Toni Storm winning the title back. So that was not Collision. That was Dynamite. Winter is coming. I don't know why I said just all that stuff about Toni Storm. They didn't make no sense to me. But yeah, there is that. So that was Dynamite. And that was pretty much my AEW talk there. So we'll talk about some other stuff now. Let's go to NXT. NXT, this was technically yesterday. Yeah, I'm not sure if Anna Jay is going to win the title next week. I don't know what they're going to do next with Mercedes, so I have no idea what's planned. All I know is Anna Jay can't challenge for the other title as long as Mariah May is the champion. That's all I know. But now we're gonna go into NXT here. Obviously, if you're new to this channel here, Christopher, I don't really do AEW that much anymore, review-wise, standalone. I just lost kind of interest in doing the show. The shows the reviews didn't really do much for me, views-wise, so I kind of stopped doing them. So I just integrated my AEW talk into the Piledriver Pulse, which is this right here, where I try and talk about a lot of other stuff besides WWE and AEW. So we're gonna go to NXT now because I missed out on doing the review last night. NXT was a pretty decent show. It was the fallout from Deadline, which I thought was a really good show. So we opened the show with Julia coming out, saying that she's Iron Survivor, getting ready to say basically that she's going to beat the shit out of Roxanne. So I could care less about Cora Jade. I love Roxanne though, but I hate to tell you some bad news about Roxanne though. Her time as an NXT champion women's champion is coming to an end at New Year's Eve. Because she and Cora Jade, I think, are getting the call up following New Year's Eve because of the talent trade window that's going on right now. But speaking of Roxanne and Julia, Roxanne and Cora Jade, they come out basically. Cora Jade didn't come out yet. Roxanne came out, all that stuff. She put over Sol Ruka and Rin Sinclair, who did very good jobs in their respective parts of the match on Saturday night. And all that stuff there. Cora Jade then comes from behind saying, you know what? Your friend Stephanie's not going to come to help you because she apparently took her out and all that stuff there. Kalani Jordan comes in. So that was our main event. Kalani Jordan and Julia, they took on Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez. But we had some other stuff happen on this show. We had a very, very good match between Javon Evans and Wesley. This was something that happened on Deadline with Javon Evans. I know this was no, it was actually. I think it was during the show. It was either during the show. It was on Twitter or something. But Javon Evans kind of just saying like I was like I did a pretty good job and whatnot and stuff and all that stuff here. Talking to oh my god, I think it's Sarah Scriber, I believe, and Wesley gets in there and says, you don't take this shit seriously, right? So he punches Javon Evans in the mouth and whatnot, and so a grudge match was set up for one of the show here. Very good match, very very good match. Javon Evans gets the win here. Was a little surprised that Javon Evans got the win, but I'm also not. I don't think Wesley's are going to be around in NXT. I'm going to be honest with you, though. The NXT men's division is kind of suffering a lot. There were some moves in the draft that I thought should have happened. Originally, because obviously I like what they're doing now with Shinsuke, but Shinsuke was somebody I kind of would have loved to see been moved down to NXT, but we did see a main roster star move back to NXT. And we'll talk about it in just a little bit, but overall, great match between Javon Evans and Wesley. We'll see what's up next with Wesley. Javon Evans, I think they got some big plans for him coming up in 2025, Mr. Javon Evans. Match I didn't really care about. Hank and Tank that defeated some nobody gives a shit duo here. I don't even know. I don't know what fucking faction they're in. Are they even in a faction? No one gives a shit. Moving on. So this is something that was actually very interesting here. So Gigi Dolan, Tatum Paxley, which is a great pairing, by the way. Makes sense. We're walking backstage, and Tatum Paxley had a doll with green hair, and I saw that. I'm like, Shotzi Blackheart's going to be coming back to NXT. She's going to be becoming the new, I guess, friend here, and so we had this match here. Fatal Influence got the win. They started attacking both of them, and Shotzi came out to the ring, and I said, "Yep, makes sense." There was rumors about maybe 3 months ago, maybe about Shotzi possibly doing a American Psycho gimmick, and I had heard that they were going to send her back to NXT for it, and that is something that ended up happening. This pairing makes sense. I'm perfectly fine with it. Shotzi isn't bad. It's just the people you put her in the ring with are bad. Again, I will always say Shotzi's best match in WWE, probably her career, is the one she had on NXT a few years ago. I might have been a title match. I'm not sure, but it was against Io Sky. But again, Io Sky, unless your name is Sonya Deville, brings out the best of you, except Sonya Deville. We'll not talk about Sonya Deville's stupid ass rant, by the way. I might actually bring that up. There's some things I want to talk about how dumb she sounded with all that stuff here. But we'll see. Tony D'Angelo defeated Ethan Page. This was kind of set up in the back for some weird reason. We had an Ethan Page North American title match here, but I noticed something. A lot of people have noticed. Shawn Michaels going back into his bag of tricks of his past here. If you guys remember, very infamously, the lead up to WrestleMania 13, which pissed one Bret the Hitman Hart off, and a lot of other people actually, where he lost his smile infamously and gave up the WWE title, which would have been, I don't know, what was the match? Bret and Shawn originally, I believe, and then Austin won the Rumble, and then it could have been Austin and Bret maybe for the title. I don't know. It was something like that. Anyway, and then we ended up getting Sid in the main event, which was not the greatest idea that they've ever had. Anyway, next week, NXT is in Lowell, Massachusetts. They're going to be in the same building. The same exact building. 23 years later. I believe it's 23. It's either 23 or 25. But I know it was 1997 when this happened. It was 27. Okay, I was close. Almost close. 27 years later. Not till the day, obviously, but 27 years later, they're going to be back in the same building doing it. Where Shawn Michaels lost his smile. Now, I don't know. There's two things that could be happening here. One, Ethan Page. Actually, there's three things that could be happening here. Ethan Page getting a babyface turn. I don't agree with that idea. Ethan Page, even though Ethan Page is a great dude in real life, he's very likable as a person. He's such a good piece of shit heel. I don't know if I would like him to go babyface. At least not right now. I'd love to see how he works as a babyface, given how great of a person he is. But we'll see on that. The other idea is him going to the main roster. That's a possibility. Maybe. That's tough because I don't know. Let me look up Let me see. I think because I want to make sure I say this out loud, not out loud, but let's see. Before I make the suggestion here, because I want to. Okay, so my other suggestion was he needs a friend, and the only other person, I don't know what the relationship is now like. I was about to get to that there, John. What if he gets help from one Josh Alexander? Now, Josh Alexander has not appeared on NXT yet. He's currently doing stuff in AEW, NXT, not NXT. What the fuck is that other? TNA. Doing a great job. Josh Alexander, one of the best wrestlers in the entire world. He did recently confirm on the Chris Van Vliet podcast that his contract is now set to expire in February of 2025. February 15th, 2025, that is. Which is a couple weeks after, or maybe a week or two after the Royal Rumble. Now, he can still show up in NXT because they got that working relationship with WWE, this TNA. Could they do a North reunion? I would love to see a North. Imagine doing the North versus Fraxium. I'm just saying. But if I had to put a guess together, I think that I don't know when this talent trade window is ending. So I would venture a guess and say that they're gonna do a talent trade with Ethan Page going to the main roster. That's my guess, my gut feeling. I would love nothing more for a North reunion. I love the North. They were one of the highlights during TNA during the pandemic and when they were the tag team champions pre-pandemic. So we'll see on that. But I don't, because I did hear that at one point they were not getting along, Alexander and Ethan Page. So we'll see. We'll see on that. Before we get into the main event of NXT. We have 2 matches announced. Actually, no, 3 matches announced next week. We have Zarya and I believe it was, God dang it, Sol Ruka. I was like Claudia Jordan. Sol Ruka were in the backstage. They're doing their stuff. Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson came in there and basically, started talking crap, and we ended up getting a tag match for next week, which is Kachara. Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. They're going to take on Zarya and Sol Ruka. But for the mere fact that they immediately tagged Sol Ruka and Zarya together, I think Sol Ruka. You know what? I think Sol Ruka is going to win the North American Championship from. It's either going to be Sol Ruka or Zarya is going to win that North American Championship from Fallon Henley first. Because I think the match for Stand to Deliver is going to be Zarya versus Sol Ruka for the NXT North American Championship. So there's that. And then the other matches are actually Fraxium. Not Fraxium. Well, they are wrestling, but it's Axiom that's wrestling twice because all that stuff here. So Axiom is going to get a match with I believe Oba Femi. I could be wrong, and then Fraxium is gonna. I think they might be defending their tag team titles against. Oh my God, who are they defending their titles against? I've already done blanked on the. It's Gallus. That's who it was. It might not even be a tag title match. It just might be a regular match. But so that's happening next week. I think they're double. I think they're double taping next week too because let me see. Double taping. Yeah, because they're going to be double taping because of the holidays next week. That makes sense. So there is that. But then we get the main event. Julia and Kalani Jordan, they lost to Roxanne and Cora Jade after Roxanne and Julia started brawling to the back there. and Cora Jade had to TDT onto Kalani Jordan to get the win. After the match, as Cora Jade was celebrating, Stephanie Vicaire comes out, runs off Cora Jade, and she breaks her little staff thing. And then I'm assuming we're gonna get Cora Jade versus Stephanie Vicaire at some point from now all the way to. They might do that match on New Year's Eve. Now I thought going into this, I thought they're gonna have like Julia wrestle Cora Jade first to do like a segment where they were to have a stipulation as if Julia wins, Cora is banned from ringside. Not Roxanne. Oh my God, what's her name? Stephanie Vicaire. I was just talking about Stephanie Vicaire. Might just be the reason why she's banned from ringside after she murders her. So we'll see. So we'll see. But yeah, that was basically wrestling wise of stuff that happened this week, show wise. I do want to talk into Stardom real quick because Stardom had their Gods of Stardom Tag League Tournament finals, and it ended up being what I said it was going to be. Not the winners, but the finals ended up being Hi Mate and Wingori. And Wingori surprisingly got the win. I'm not mad about it. I'm more mad at the fact that earlier in the night, Hi Mate did. Did they have a match? No, they didn't have a match. I'm trying to remember at what point, whether it was either after the Hi Mate match or the BMI 2000 match. It was one of the two. No, though they wrestled each other. What the fuck am I talking about? So Natsuko Toro got on the microphone and basically requested a match, challenged Micah to a match at Dream Queendom. And I'm like, why the fuck would you do that before we get to the finals of the tag league? And that's what kind of pissed me off, because it kind of basically spoiled who was winning the tag league. Especially now that we know that the Wingori is going to get their title match at Dream Queendom. So, but I loved the match. It was a great match, by the way. But that was basically it, if that makes sense. Wingori and Restart, though, had a very good match, so that was pretty good. That was a lot of fun. Though out of that whole show, I still think my match of the night is still the or no, that was on the was it the tag league finals? What show did I do hold on a second, let me look here. I don't wanna root. Hold on a second. Let me look up Micah's name here on Cage Badge so I can look this up here. Micah. We'll talk about Micah in a second there, but let me look here. I'm trying to look here. Okay, so all right, so so did she have a match on the show? That being Natsuko did. Oh, it was during the Natsuko Rion match. Okay, that makes a lot more sense now. But yeah, the best match on that show, which I thought should have more eyes on it, is the best 2 out of 3 falls match between Cosmic Angels and Neo Genesis. That was a lot of fun. So that was great. But that's basically it of match results from this week. Should we get into the news? Let's do that. I'm gonna save some of the big news for the end of it here, like the Rey Fenix stuff. I'm gonna save that for a little bit. But we do have some Wrestle Dynasty news, as we found out. Athena was able to beat Billy Starks, Layla Hirsch, and Red Velvet. I don't actually know when this one took place, but Athena is now is the first person to qualify for the Wrestle Dynasty match. I thought the winner, the Jamie Hayter Willow Nightingale match, was supposed to take place on Dynamite. Was going to take place on Collision. Obviously, Jamie Hayter should win that to go into that. I'm not entirely sure who's going to go through in the CMLL match, And we still do not know who from Stardom is going to represent Stardom in going into Wrestle Dynasty. I'm going to assume they're going to, again, this is me making a guess. I think they're going to save that 4-way match for Dream Queendom. Because as of right now, there are names missing off that show. Those names being Azumi, I must start like it. Azumi, Suzu Suzuki, Sariano. Sariano is not wrestling on the show. Mina is most likely going to wrestle on that show somehow. Let me see. Hazuki is another one. So we'll see. Who I think, just because of based off the night, I think they're just going to give that one to Mina Shirakawa. But I would love to see Suzuki lock it up with someone like Athena in that match. So we'll see. We'll see on that. Let me know what you guys think who you think is going to be the 4 individuals from the Stardom team that possibly could get that spot in there. Speaking of Stardom, Dream Queendom. So here is what we got currently for the current card for Dream Queendom. We have the World of Stardom Championship match. Tam Nakano defending against Saya Kamatani. Tatsupo is going to be defending the white belt against Starlight Kid. Konami is going to wrestle Shiri. Hopefully in a stipulation of some sort, maybe. Maika going to take on Atsuko Toro, and Momo Watanabe and Tekla, who will be coming back from suspension, will defend the tag team titles against the winners of the tag league, Wingori. I still think we're going to Miyu Amazaki versus Hanako for the Future Star Championship, because I don't see Miyu losing it. And I think Maysara is still going to take on Rina for that title. Also, another name I forgot to mention is Mayu Utani is not on the card either. So weird. But by the way, I can confirm now that Mayu Utani now is up 5 matches in this year's match of the year category for the year-end awards. So that's pretty cool. Well, I will talk about that in just a little bit. All right, so let's get into some news here before we get into the predictions here. Because I'm going to say my predictions for Saturday night's main event for the end of the show. Got some news here that came out from news that just came out today. We'll talk about it right now. This is the Winged Eagle news. If you guys saw the video from Triple H earlier today, he tweeted out one night only. I said along the lines of, we're going way back, going old school here. One night only. It was with Cody Rhodes and them, and Triple H opened up this suitcase, gold, and the indication being that they're bringing you back. Got some hair in my eye there, in my way. Did you just hate you feel like there's some type of fuzz or something there, and it's nothing, and there's everything ever there. Anyways, the indication being the return of the Winged Eagle title for one night only. I hope it's not for one night only. I mean, I've heard. We'll talk about Sean Ross Sapp's report here. This is from Fightful Select. Go subscribe to Fightful Select. They do some great work over there. WWE, this is their report here. WWE teased the return of a classic title and is using it again. And using it again has been talked about. On December 11th, WWE posted a video in which Triple H gave WWE champion Cody Rhodes a gift ahead of Saturday night's main event. Triple H commented on the old school nature of the feel of the show. He said that Rhodes' present, which was in a title belt case, was for one night only. Cody opened it, smiled, and carried the case away. This led many fans to assume that this at the WWE Winged Eagle belt was in the case. Fight Select has heard that there have been discussions to use the Winged Eagle title, and Cody Rhodes has pushed for it. He absolutely has been. He's actually been pushing for it since WrestleMania, actually, since he won the championship, even before he won the title back in April. Rhodes has repeatedly made it clear that he wants to see the Winged Eagle title return, dating back to his WWE return in 2022. In September 2024, Rhodes stated that he was actively working on trying to bring the title back. Fightful Select has learned that a number of talent have mentioned bringing back classic titles, with Cody Rhodes being among the most vocal. This also is a contributing factor to the WWE Tag Team titles, having a more classic look to them. They're a modern take on the original WWE or WWF Tag Team titles from the 80s, which are beautiful titles, and the current WWE Tag Team titles on SmackDown, currently held by DIY, are beautiful looking titles. WWE, this is Fightful continuing here, did a photo shoot with the classic titles years back. There's the photo floating around with Kevin Owens holding it, and there are some photos of it with Moxley and Roman, and I want to say maybe some other ones. Might have been another one, anyways. The World Tag Titles and the World Titles and Tag Titles are all were done as a homage to the big gold belt with the WWE branding, which is the WCW title for those who are curious, which we were told has been important to WWE, as one would guess. Branding and getting those titles in the hands of celebrities and athletes have proven successful for WWE. WWE has previously debuted the Winged Eagle title back in 1988 and was used until 1988, when Stone Cold Steve Austin was the last person to hold it, until the Attitude Era belt was introduced not long after Austin won the title at WrestleMania 14. So I love this idea. I love it. I love the Winged Eagle title. Every time I look at that title, I'm like, God damn, that's a gorgeous title. That is a professional wrestling championship world title. Unfortunately, and I don't know if it's going to be for one night. I had heard that there's been talks to permanently bring it back with an updated look. If they want to use the old one at Saturday night's main event, fine. But I wouldn't be shocked if they do a modern take on it for permanently. So we'll see on that. But I'm very excited to see the Winged Eagle back on Saturday night for Saturday night's main event. So yeah. Some other news from our good friends at Dr. Chris Featherstone, PhD, who's doing very good stuff here. We have some news on the Raw Netflix debut. So, if you guys are unaware, they're treating the Raw Netflix show like a WrestleMania. There's going to be a lot of hands-on deck basically on that show here. And what's slated for that show, according to him, is CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. Now, I saw that, and I said, are they pivoting away from that match for Roman versus Punk? Because as of right now, according to his source, because if I can bring up that one, because I actually do want to bring that up, that Rock source here. So he put out a tweet actually last Tuesday, that said WWE has decided to move forward in creative plans as if The Rock will not appear at WrestleMania 41. As of now, I have been informed that these plans could change at any moment, and WWE is definitely interested in using him if he becomes available. But he is currently not scheduled to compete at WrestleMania. So now, again, I'm thinking to myself, is this a creative pivot like it was earlier this year, where we're going in the direction of Roman Reigns versus CM Punk now. I don't know. This is interesting. We don't know. We're gonna find out. Speaking of Roman Reigns, he is also scheduled to compete, according to Chris Featherstone, on the Netflix debut again. The only match on that show that makes sense for him will be Solo Sikoa, which is why they're not doing that match on Saturday night's main event. That's the only thing I can think of. Now this is me throwing this out here. If Roman Reigns is not wrestling Punk or Rock at WrestleMania, the only other match I want to see Roman Reigns compete in is not against Cody Rhodes. I do not want to see that match again. Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu. Do we get that? I don't know. That's the thing. We don't know what's going to happen with The Rock. I am of the belief, kind of like Featherstone, I heard the same thing. As of right now, Rock is not scheduled to wrestle on the show. He might. Might go as far as say he might not actually appear on the show at all. Then you ask, what do you with Cody Rhodes? Well, I'm glad you asked. Well, you didn't, but I'm going to just tell you anyways. So, there's talk about John Cena going after number 17. I do not. I love. Listen, I respect what Cena's been doing now. I do not want to see Gunther versus John Cena at WrestleMania. I think there's something else you can do with Gunther, and I'll talk about him in a second. I think Gunther. I don't think Gunther's going to be I don't know if Gunther will hold the. I do think Gunther's going to hold the World Championship going into WrestleMania, and I think he's going to have a different opponent in mind. But we'll talk about that in just a little bit. Cody Rhodes, I will talk about his whole shtick when it comes to the WWE title, but I do think Cody Rhodes will be the WWE champion going into WrestleMania. And I think the perfect match for him at WrestleMania, because this is going to be the only time that it might be the only time they might actually get to do this on a big stage, because he's retiring at the end after the end of 2025. John Cena versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE title. That's the match I much rather them do than waste Gunther's title run on John Cena. Just for a, thanks for your service and all that stuff, right? So that's the idea I pitched. I think Seth Rollins is a good shout for Gunther because we were robbed of that match at SummerSlam. We should have got it. So you do Rollins and Seth for the world title. You do Cody Roman for the WWE title. You do Io and Rhea because they've already I think that's the direction now that they're going with, and I wish Liv Morgan fans would actually just let it go. Just let it go. You're not getting away this time. Again, I think Becky Lynch is the direction for Liv Morgan. Non-title. You don't need a title involved with that. Let's see. So my ideal WrestleMania card, based on what's happening right now on television, is you do Cody and Cena for the WWE title. You do Punk Roman for that. And that's if they don't want. That's if they're gonna not want to do that at WrestleMania, or not that thing in Punk or whatever. You do, like I said, so you do Punk, Gunther, you do Cody, Cena. And I know you probably wonder, well, what happens with Randy Orton? I don't know on that part. You know what? Do Randy Orton versus Jacob Fatu if you want to do that. And Jacob Fatu deserves to be on a WrestleMania card. I'm just throwing that out there. Io, Rhea, Becky, Liv, non-title. Charlotte, Tiffany, women's title for SmackDown. The United States Championship, I don't know. For the men's one, I don't know. I wouldn't be opposed to having Nakamura retain. You know what? Nakamura versus Pentagon could be a WrestleMania match for the United States Championship. Sign me up with that one. Let's see. I'm trying to think here. Intercontinental Championship. Gunther versus. Ooh. Not Gunther. No. He's not important. Braun Breaker versus. Braun Breaker versus. Maybe, I guess you could do Sheamus. I guess. I think the War Raiders are going to be the champions going into WrestleMania. I personally would do the Wyatts. Gacy and Rowan. Not Gacy and Rowan. Gacy and Loomis. That's something I guess you can throw out there. You can continue to build the rivalry between Ciampa, Gargano, and the Machine Guns. You could do that match at WrestleMania for the other tag titles. Let's see. Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens is a match. I think that's where they're going with that. Trying to think what else. That's all I can think of off the top of my head. But you guys let me know on that card front there. I don't think Cena's getting the Intercontinental Championship. I don't know. Depends. When it comes to number 17, depends on who he wrestles. I'd much rather him do a match with John Cena and Cody, because at least with Cody can afford to take a loss. I don't know if Gunther would recover well from a loss to a part-timer. So I don't know on that end there. Let me see if I can let me see if I can find some other news here first before I can break into. Actually, here we go. New Japan news: Battle in the Valley. They announced some Stardom talent here, which is going to be taking place at the same place, San Jose Civic Center, in San Jose, California, January the 11th, 2025. We got Mina Shirakawa, Azumi Hanako, and making the U.S. Japan debut for. There is Micah. Also on that car, build for that, advertised for that show is the current IWGP World Champion Zack Sabre Jr., Tomohiro Ishii, Gabe Kidd, Jeff Cobb, and the AEW International Champion Konosuke Takeshita and El Desperado. Speaking of not New Japan, actually is New Japan related. Wrestle Kingdom actually has an update on their card here. So, in an interesting turn of events, Naito and Hiromu Takahashi won the tag league. On the same show, we found out that Great Khan and Hanare was forced to vacate the IWGP Tag Team titles. There was another update to that, if I can find it here. So Great Khan, so now the titles are vacated. Instead of challenging for the vacated titles at Wrestle Kingdom, they're going to do that on. They're going to have a vacated tag team title match on Wrestle Gym. It's going to be the Great Khan. Teaming with the champion partner of his choosing, they're going to take on the Young Bucks. So that's happening there. But the interesting turn in events have that Naito and Takahashi did not want to challenge for the tag team titles. Instead, Hiromu challenged Naito to a singles match for Wrestle Kingdom. So now, instead of doing a tag team title match, we got Tetsuya Naito versus Hiromu Takahashi, which is a match they were supposed to do, I guess, a couple of years ago. I guess it was during the pandemic or something, and they couldn't do it. So now they're going to be able to do it, and this could be. I think we're getting close to the final years of Naito's career. So that, I wouldn't be surprised if they did it here. So here's the current card now for Wrestle Kingdom 19. We have, like I said, Tetsuya Naito versus Hiromu Takahashi. IWGP Women's Championship, Mayu Iwatani defending against Azumi. Hiroshi Tanahashi taking on Evil. Junior, 4-way for the junior heavyweight tag team titles. Intergalactic Jet Setters, Kevin Knight and Kushida, that will defend their titles against Ichiban Sweet Boys, Robbie Eagles, and Fujita. Versus Catch 2-2, TJP and Francisco Akira. And Bullet Club War Dogs is Clark Connors and Drilla Maloney. We got a 3-way for the New Japan World Television Championship. Ren Narita taking on Jeff Cobb and Ryohei. Junior Heavyweight Championship on the line. Doki defending against defending in a rematch against El Desperado. I think it's a rematch with El Desperado. Shingo Takagi defends the Never Open Championship against Konosuke Takeshita. If Konosuke is still the international champion come January 4th, it will be a winner takes all match. So that's going to be an excellent match. I cannot wait for that. David Finlay will defend the global championship against Yota Tsuji, and unfortunately, their idea of a main event, Zack Sabre Jr. defending the world title against Shota Umino. So that's the new card for Wrestle Kingdom 19. Hopefully it's a good show. I will be here for that show somehow, some way. Maybe, I don't know. I might already be in my new house by now. I don't know. We'll see. All right. And now we gotta get into this crazy ass shit that's going on here. So, Rey Fenix. Now, Rey Fenix. Some crazy ass shit's happening with him. He tweeted out, if I can find it. So he tweeted out, let me see if I can find it here. A tweet he tweeted out tweets that actually were deleted, but if I can find the tweet, here we go. So I believe it was on Saturday. He tweeted out, "No one stays in a place they receive inhumane treatment." And he also tweeted out, I believe it was 2 days after that I needed a doctor and you ignored me for months. So then Chris Featherstone tweeted out, "I have received information from an AEW source on November 20th regarding the Lucha Bros status. Obviously, Pentagon is a free agent, but I didn't want to." And he continues, "I didn't want to. I did not report it as I was waiting for one of them to begin speaking their mind about the situation." And they did with Rey Fenix. I was told that day that Penta's contract was ending soon with AEW, which happened. He was removed from the AEW website. And this is what he said, the quote, "The alleged excuse that Tony Khan found out about Lucha Bros being in talks with WWE is fake news, and the real reason will be revealed soon. There's a real story behind the situation with Rey Fenix, which is a huge injustice. I expect the Lucha Bros to go more in depth about their time in AEW when they are free and cleared to do so, and when they do, it's going to be ugly." So then Fightful, same day, I think almost around the same day that this came out, had a huge report here saying, quote, The Rey Fenix AEW saga continues. Phoenix posted a new. By the way, Phoenix did respond to that Chris Featherstone report saying the most accurate or more truthful comment or whatever it was. But about continuing on what Fightful has to say here. Phoenix posted a number. Let me try again. My English doesn't want to talk today. Phoenix posted a number of tweets seemingly aimed at AEW without naming them directly, claiming that he was treated inhumanely and denied a doctor when he needed one. Fightful asked for comment on or statement from AEW, both via message and in person at Monday's on-sale ticket event. We were told that they weren't going to comment on the matter. Of course, they wouldn't. With additional source indicated that they couldn't comment on medical claims regardless, which is, I feel like it's kind of a bullshit statement. Fightful has spoken to numerous sources in AEW who were surprised by Phoenix's tweets, and even though the two sides are on the outs, one source admitted that they have been in communication, have been long. Let me try it again. One source admitted that there have been long been. Sean, you gotta. Some of your wording is very weird here. One source admitted there have been long. There's been basically communication issues here, and hadn't heard anything that would be construed as inhumane, and hadn't spoken to Phoenix about it. They had heard that Phoenix took issues with a doctor who hadn't cleared him yet at one point, though the context on that wasn't exactly complete. We're trying to find out any additional issues Phoenix took with AEW. We did reach out to both Phoenix and AEW, haven't heard back. Another AEW source claimed to be familiar with the matter, said that the claims were untrue, and they thought the word AEW not being used by the fake WWE news was someone trying to babyface themselves in the situation, as AEW has been upset about the word that Lucha Bros were in talks with the WWE with plenty time remaining on their deal. So there really wasn't that much time left on Phoenix on Penta's deal, as Penta is now a free agent and will be able to work anywhere he pleases. While Rey Fenix had time added on to his contract, because Tony Khan's a piece of shit for doing that, which takes it well into 2025. It should be reiterated that WWE has never commented on in any capacity on the duo, but the widespread belief was that they were planned for a WWE run bypassing NXT, which clearly at this point was changed to the Motor City Machine Guns, regardless of what PW Insider says. Contrary to recent reports, AEW did learn about those alleged talks back in the summer, and around that time, Fightful reported about them. They were obviously not happy. They would later find out more information on the matter. Penta is in heavy demand outside AEW. We're told Phoenix, despite his being under contract, is also in heavy demand. We've been working to find out if Phoenix and AEW were in touch to improve his House of Glory appearance, or trying to learn out more or whatever. Penta and Rey Fenix were factored into significant creative plans throughout the year. They, along with Pac, were originally planned to win the AEW Trios titles at All In before the aforementioned rumored talks with WWE take place. While Phoenix was injured, Pac and Penta were also at one time planned for a deep run as in the AEW Tag Team Title Tournament after Sting retired. As of now, Phoenix's status is up in the air, and there were people within AEW indicating to Fightful last week that AEW and Tony Khan might actually give Phoenix an earlier release on his deal. However, since then we have heard no update, and one of the sources have indicated that they believe it's almost any outcome sets an unfortunate precedent. So, yeah, a very ugly situation here. I think Tony Khan's gonna if because since then Rey Fenix has deleted those tweets and I think AEW silenced him, told him to delete it. I think there's two things that could happen. One is Rey Fenix just I had something in my mouth there. One second. I think I got it out. Hold on a second. Let me change it over real quick. I think I got it out. I had something in my mouth there. But I think Tony Khan's going to be pressured into releasing Tony Phoenix early. And I don't think Rey Fenix should be shining an NDA because I want to know what's going to be said here. So, it's a tricky situation here with Rey Fenix. This whole doctor thing goes back to it was a comment. I think it was a comment that Miro had made recently. Well, not recently, but way back when. Let's see if I can find the Miro thing here. So here's what Miro had said. He said, "I've been injured since September." This was 9 months ago, I think. "I've been injured since September, and I got medical attention in January. Sorry, Tony Khan wasn't aware of it." So that's one thing. And CM Punk famously said on the Ariel One podcast that he had to pay for his own surgery, his own medical bills and stuff, and no one contacted him for 6 months. I heard that line and the Miro thing, and I said, this seems to be this. I'm seeing a pattern here. If you are running a company and you do not actually pay for any of this stuff, why even bother? See, I jokingly said, "Hey, come to AEW. Well, you can sign with us, but you're on your own after that." I don't know because under Vince it was kind of tricky. I feel like he gave special treatment to like Roman and his top guys, I guess. But anybody else like a Pac or a I don't know, a Punk obviously or a I don't know. I'm just throwing a name out here. Jinder Mahal, right? He don't give a shit about you. But under Triple H and under this new regime, they are helping you out with bills and all this stuff here, and helping you get the right. CM Punk also said on that same podcast that he was able to get help after he tore his tricep in the Royal Rumble because WWE was there to help. So it's a tough situation. It's shitty, is what it is. But what can you do there, right? But again, it's a shitty situation there. but I hope all parties involved. I just hope Phoenix gets out of there, because he, much like Phoenix, much like Malachi, much like oh my God, what's Ricky Starks, who, by the way, that whole situation with GCW is ugly as well, because Effie, I guess, had some type of comments about Tony Khan and his dad and whatnot, and Tony Khan fucking blew a gasket and shit, and now he's pulled Ricky Starks from the remainder stuff that he was going to do with the GCW, and now because Willie Mack now, and here's something I didn't know: Willie Mack is under contract with AEW. I didn't fucking know this until like Tuesday, not Tuesday. What was it? Let me see if we can find the Willie Mack story here. Or maybe not. I don't know. I think Sean had to delete the post because it was a very weird situation here. So originally, Willie Mack was pulled from the show because he was signed to AEW and whatnot, and then AEW claims they did not pull him from the show, and then it was very. I don't know what the fuck's going on with that there. So Tony Khan, you've got to do a better job with your fucking company. You let somebody else handle the booking of the show. You should handle the business side of things. I don't know. It's. I don't know. AEW really pisses me off sometimes with the way they handle things here. They care more about what CM Punk said in a podcast than they are what they're doing now on television, right? But anyways, yeah, there's that. So I don't know if I have anything else like news-wise that I can share with you guys. Let me see. I'm trying to see if there's any other news stuff here. So let me look here. When is this? So this weekend we got the main event of Hazuki and Mercedes Moné. I don't know if they're going to do anything with that there, but let's see. I'm trying to see if there's anything else I'm looking for here. I'm trying to see. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. No, I don't see any other news that I can go into here. Yeah. So yeah, so I don't see anything other news-wise here. But what I can go into now is my predictions for Saturday night's main event, which I will be here for. It's not really news here, but Becky Lynch played her first game of Dungeons and Dragons, which was pretty cool. I don't play Dungeons and Dragons, but seeing Becky Lynch have some fun, that was pretty good. That was a lot. That's cool to see. That's pretty cool to see. Actually, you know what? Before we get into the predictions of the of Saturday night's main event, let's hear a word from our sponsor, my friend Yumi Nakamura. Well, she's not going to talk, but this person I have doing the voiceover is going to talk and tell us about the upcoming album that's coming out in less than 2 weeks. That being Iron Rose's new album, Steamheart Chronicles, which is going to be available on Bandcamp. And in the description below, here's the ad for that. Steamheart Chronicles, check it out.
The Misfit Wrestling Podcast is brought to you by Steamheart Chronicles, the new album by the all-female Japanese steampunk metal band Iron Roses. Featuring epic tracks such as Iron Will of the Heart, Warriors of Destiny. Journey of the Brave. And much, much more. Pre-order Steamheart Chronicles by Iron Roses, available on December 27th on Bandcamp.
Iron Roses, December 27th on Bandcamp. The link is in the description below, and I put it in the chat there. Pre-order now. So there is that. But now we're going to go into the predictions for the Saturday night's main event. Obviously, we're going to have Jesse Ventura on commentary, but I'm assuming it's going to be Jesse, Corey Graves, and Michael Cole. That'd be a very interesting duo there. We have 5 matches in the show. We have the finals of the inaugural WWE United States Championship, Women's United States Championship tournament. I'm going to assume, this is my guess, I think the finals is going to be Chelsea Green versus Michin. And given that we already have a heel champion, women's champion, I'm going to go with Michin to win the entire thing. And I think she's going to win the United States Championship. Though it'd be funny if they gave a Canadian the first ever United States Championship. That'd be pretty funny. Match that was just made on Monday Night Raw. Seth Rollins. Sami Zayn will take on Drew McIntyre. I'm expecting Drew McIntyre to get the win here. This is going to be his first match back since Bad Blood and the match with CM Punk. So there is that. Io Sky challenging Liv Morgan for the Women's World Championship. If I'm booking this, Io Sky is winning the championship. Though my scenario, I heard Solomon's scenario, but I think Liv Morgan retains. We do the first Raw on Netflix. Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley. Rhea wins the championship back. Io wins the Royal Rumble, because of everything that happened at Saturday night's main event. And then Io challenges Rhea for the championship at WrestleMania. One way or another, the destination at WrestleMania should be Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Title. Whichever way we get there, I'm fine with it. As long as it's not Rhea and Liv at fucking WrestleMania. That's all I want. World Heavyweight Championship match, triple threat. Gunther defending against Finn Balor and Damian Priest. I wouldn't be mad if they did this so they can protect Gunther by not having him take the loss. But I don't think Gunther's losing right now. So I'm going to go with Gunther retaining. And then the main event is going to be for the WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens. Winged Eagle title return. If it was up to me, and I think I'm picking Kevin Owens to win the WWE Championship because it's not going to hurt Kevin. It's not going to hurt Cody Rhodes to lose it for a month, right? Cody can win it back at the Royal Rumble, but Kevin winning the title here, it will prove his point in this character. But here's the thing: you cannot do you cannot build Kevin Owens like this and then have him lose the championship. It just wouldn't make sense to me. So I'm going to go with Kevin Owens to shockingly win the WWE Championship, and that is my prediction for Saturday night's main event. Who do I think is going to challenge or take on Carmella Hayes this weekend on SmackDown? I don't think it's going to be Penta because I just don't know if you can just, debut him like that. But we'll see. But yeah. Now, I talked about this at the beginning of the show, that being the year-end awards, the new matches that were added. So there have been new matches added to the year-end awards. Two of them actually were added to the year-end awards. One of them being a Mayu Iwatani match. So Mayu Iwatani now has 4 matches of the year candidates. If I can find them here. So, we have Mayu Iwatani versus Shiri from New Year Dream. Mayu Iwatani versus Surrey from All-Star Grand Queendom. Mayu Iwatani and Momo Kogo versus Saya Kamatani and Konami from the Guys Tag League Tournament. Mayu Iwatani versus Momo Watanabe from the Star Crossover. And the new match that was just added because I thought I had it on here. Mayu Iwatani and Surrey versus Hashimoto and Vinny from Serialism Chapter 5. A match that was just added because I thought I had it on there and I didn't. So now it's 5 match of the year contenders or candidates for our nominees actually for Mayu Iwatani. She's one of the best wrestlers in the world for a reason. I know. Then the other match was just added, which was a match that actually happened a few weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, at Sendai Girls. Miko Satomura taking on Mika Owada. So that was a match that was just added as well. So then we had some new additions. By the way, Mika Owada was added to overall and female wrestler of the year. I thought I had her on there. I did not, and I feel fucking terrible that I didn't. So there is that. Now we have some new categories. By the way, the Bloodline was added to the faction / tag team of the year because if I didn't, people would fucking shoot my head off. So they are in there, and so is Bishamon. Bishamon, for some reason I didn't have on there. That was my fault. Now let's go into the two new categories that were added to this year's year-end awards. And one of them I had to be unbiased here, so I didn't put myself in here. That being Wrestling YouTube Channel of the Year. Had to be. This is mostly for like the big, more well-known YouTube channels that cover pro wrestling, whether it's video game related pro wrestling or just reviews or whatever here. So we have obviously the one I had to put on here because it's just a gem of a channel that was just launched this year. Whoever's running it should deserve a fucking race at WWE. That being the WWE Vault. I was on here. The boys at Wrestle Talk. Yeah, I know a lot of people want to shit on Wrestle Talk, but I like the boys at Wrestle Talk. I like Luke Owen. I like Pete. Tempest sometimes get on my nerves if he's not that bad of a person. Sullivan Bob Brown is one of my favorite human beings. Ollie's an interesting character. But shout out to the boys at Wrestle Talk for getting the nomination this year for the Piledriver Misfit Wrestling Podcast here. Speaking of Sean Ross Tappa, I have him on here as well. Before Ibu. I'm not counting the Ibu streams because this is mainly from the start of the year to 2 weeks ago. The Fightful Post show for Monday Night Raw. Sean Ross Sapp and Denise Salcedo. They are an entertaining duo, and I love what they do. I love what Sean does. He is you guys can call him a piece of shit on social media all you want. Dude is genuinely a great dude. Love his scoops. I cover his scoops on the show. I covered the stuff with Phoenix today and the other one about the Winged Eagle. So, he knows his job. He's only a piece of shit to you if you're a piece of shit to him. That's all I'm going to say. And Denise Salcedo, a lovely human being. I don't know why people like to get on her. I love joking with her. Some of the things she's the step host for a reason. So much love. It's not the last time Denise is on here, by the way. The good boys at Going on Raw. Steve and Larson. One of my favorite listens. I love Steve. I love Larson. They're really cool people. I've never actually, met them or talked to them. I've been in their, to chat a little bit. They're great people. Is It Sid is probably one of my favorite things that they came up with on the Quizlemania stuff here. I love the I don't know if it's bit anymore with Larson and Cody, or is it Steve? It was one of the two here. But the bit with CM Punk is pretty fun. I like Steve's impression of Stone Cold, and then when they do they haven't done it in a while, but the stuff with the Triple H getting into phone calls and stuff like that, and the match and all that stuff. The Russell Juice stuff is pretty fun. They actually got me into doing the Sporkle stuff, which I might do that for one of the streams. Let me know, you guys can let me know on that if you want to see one of those. But yeah, Steve and Larson, pretty cool people. Very happy that they made it in Going Raw. You can let that out. Somebody who was just listening to before I got on the air here. I listen to him every week, whether it's on the Raw review, post Monday Night Raw, post SmackDown, post AEW, or his show on Sundays, which, believe it or not, him doing the Piledriver, him doing his show on Sundays is inspiring me to do a weekly show where I talk about other wrestling news, and that being Salamonster Sounds Off. Jason Salamonster. Jason Salomon. The Salamonster. He is more like y'all. I know you guys might not like him because he hangs out with, because he does that show with, he's associated with JD and whatnot. I don't give a shit. JD's not on here. But the reason I have Jason on here is because he doesn't sugarcoat things. He doesn't play either side. If either show sucks, if either company isn't doing well, he'll let you know about it. But he isn't going to talk down to you about it, right? Like fucking JD will. If you say something stupid, he might. But Jason, I've watched. I started listening to his podcast. I learned about his podcast through TV Tracks days. That's also how I learned about Don Tony and Kevin Castle. We don't really care about them now because they're kind of assholes. But yeah, that's how I learned about Jason Salamonster, and he is on here for that very reason. He's doing great stuff. He is also the general manager of House of Glory and all that stuff. So he's doing some good stuff. Pretty good stuff here. Wrestling YouTuber channel from all the way over across the pond. I know I have some good some listeners and some fans of my show over there. Wrestling Days. He looks like he is a funny guy. I watch his channel quite a bit. He's got the unseen stuff. He does the watch alongs for Raw and SmackDown. He used to do AW. He doesn't do that anymore. Toy Hunts is where I got to watch his stuff at. And then I got into watching his streams here and his thoughts and stuff. He thought that he's pretty cool dude, pretty neat guy. So he's on here as well. Our channel I kind of discovered some last year, which funny enough, he has it's the first name too. It's the Assemble podcast, who originally I thought was just well, it's not a podcast, it's just a channel. Originally I thought it was just for Marvel and stuff. No, I found out he was a wrestling fan. I think he did his stuff on AEW or whatever. And I was like, okay. And he started doing more because people enjoyed his wrestling content. So now he started covering stuff for the WWE games and Fight Forever. And then I believe he opened up his own wrestling YouTube channel called Assemble Wrestle. So wrestling. So he's pretty cool. I like his stuff here. So he's on here as well. In the clutch, Ross and Dub. If you know Kicking It with Ross, he does a lot of reactions to wrestling stuff. I watch his live reaction commentary stuff. He gets into it. Like, it hits the funniest shit I've ever seen. Well, it's pretty cool stuff. Dubs hit the whole Dub stuff. The bit with it's not really a bit. He doesn't like Brock Lesnar. Okay, but it's a running bit that they will have, some jokes with the Brock Lesnar stuff with him. II stuff. It's pretty funny. Yeah, I enjoy his wrestling, his streams and his videos. Especially when you watch just the top 10 stuff, that's pretty cool stuff. So there's that. Speaking of top 10s, Wrestle Talk does that too on their Parts of Unknown channel, which is a wrestling channel, which is pretty cool here. The man, the myth, the legend, Chris Van Vliet. I had to put him on here, man. He's a great interview, great dude. Another Canadian on here. Well, actually, he might be the first Canadian on here. Yeah, no, he's the first Canadian on here. No, that's not right. That's not. Chimpus is a Canadian too. But his interviews are great. He's had Jesse Ventura this year. He's had Batista, Drew McIntyre. I think he had Eric Young, Josh Alexander, Stephen Amell. He had a big interview with somebody else, and he interviewed The Undertaker. So like he's great at what he does, and I think he deserves some more love. You guys won't be getting a trophy or anything. You just be winning, wrestling YouTuber of the year. So yeah. Now this is for the Stardom fans here. I put it on here because they are really cool dudes. I've talked to at least one of them quite a bit. Nothing but cool dude. That being the Stardom cast, Matt Turner and Rob Goodwin. They also do one for Marty Gold. They cover Marty Gold. They cover Stardom. It stinks. I know one of them. I know one of them. I know Matt Turner is a big Tam Nakano fan. But I'm not that big of a Tam. I like her, but I don't love her like you and some other people do. I think her time as champion is finally coming to an end at Dream Queendom. But I do like listen to their show. I like listen to their takes here, what they got talking about the Joshi world of Stardom and Marty Gold and all that stuff here. They got their own segment when it comes to WWE when they have Io and Kyrie Watch, which has now been introduced with Io, not Io, Julia, now that she's in NXT, killing it up there. So Stardom Cast gets on there because they're pretty cool. Another down-to-earth human being who has his own channel now, but I known him my whole time being on YouTube as the guy from Walt Culture, who does a lot of the top 10 stuff, who does the why, here's why. Simon Miller, man. He's great. Same reason for most of these people here. Genuinely one of the nicest people in the world. I've talked to me and him had a disagreement over something. It was small, but we went over. I don't remember what it was about. I don't. Might have been a WWE thing. I don't remember. Might have been over the Vince McMahon documentary. I don't know. But no. He doesn't. He's one of those guys that doesn't latch out at people. He doesn't. I don't think he has one hatred piece in his body. So he's pretty cool, and he gets in here for the same reason everybody else here. And I mentioned Denise Salcedo earlier. I couldn't do this list without her channel. Instinct Culture, Denise Salcedo. She's doing big things now. She moved on from Fightful. She's now going to be doing her own stuff here. But she's great. She has great interviews too. She did one with Xia Li earlier this year, which is great. She did one with CM. She got CM Punk. She might be the first one of the Fightful podcast crew to do CM Punk and Bryan Danielson in the same year as an interview, which I thought was pretty cool. So, but yeah, she gets in there. All those people I think deserve a spot in this YouTube wrestling YouTuber of the year, or YouTube channel, or channel of the year, excuse me. So yeah. And then the other category that got added to this was it's kind of a long one, but it's documentary / TV series / film of the year for wrestling wise here. So we have The Queen of Villains, the Netflix series about Joshi legend Dump Matsumoto, which is a very good show. I encourage you guys to check it out on there. It's really good. So there's that. A movie that I finally was able to watch. Somehow I was able to watch it. Shout out to my friend Jason who helped me out, who hooked me up. Obviously Jason Ingram, he helped me out and hooked me up to getting somehow getting to watch this movie. That being the Mayu Iwatani film, The Runaway Wrestler, which was actually a lot of fun. There was stuff in this film about, obviously the life of Mayu Iwatani running away from home and joining Stardom, meaning Fuka and Rossio Ogawa. Obviously teaming with Io Shirai to team with Thunder Rock, and obviously the Queendom, Freedom being formed with Mayu, Kairi, and Io. Kairi was in the movie as herself, which was fucking hilarious. I love that. And they even covered the incident between Yoshihiko and Lady Act, the whole incident there, which I didn't think they were going to, but they did. They didn't like spend a lot of time on it, but they did do that. So I believe it's up. It's all the way up to, I want to say, the night that Mayu won the World of Stardom title from Kagetsu. I think it was from Kagetsu, which was played by Shirley. Obviously, Fuka was played by Momokogo. And there was a lot of Stardom. Oh my God, cameos that were in there. We had Maika was in there. We had Mina Shirakawa, I think, was in there. Ami Soraya was in there. Hanako was in there at some point. Lady C was in there. So there were some good bits in there of wrestlers that were in Stardom. Obviously we saw, they even had on the poster wall, there was a poster that had Julia and Utami on there. So yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool. Also Tam Nakano and Natsupoi were labeled as an idol group because again, this movie took place around the time I was starting to wrestle. So technically Tam and Natsupoi wouldn't be around as wrestlers in this. So yeah. So the Runaway Wrestler gets on there for that particular reason there. Dark Side of the Ring season 5 was on here. There's some good things on Dark Side of the Ring this year. Some things not so good. So we actually do have, I think we do have a season 6 planned. I'm not entirely sure, but I don't know what's going to be on season 6. But obviously, season 5, we had stuff on Buff Bagwell, which is a pretty interesting. It was kind of the most Bellatone episode. It was a weird episode here. They started off with obviously the bout of Earthquake and John Tinta, which was interesting for the first time on the Dark Side of the Ring, that one was more of a not so dark side of the ring episode. Because as far as I know, John Tinta died, just bladder cancer. I don't. He didn't do any drugs and shit. So that was more of a warming episode than most on here. We had the Bagwell here. That was a weird episode. I didn't watch the Terry Gordy episode, but I can go back and watch it. I didn't really watch the Brutus Beefcake episode. I missed that one. I did watch Harley the Race one. Didn't know much about Chris Colt. I need to go back and watch some of these ones, like the Chris Adams one, Sensational Sherry. I do need to go. I watched a little bit of that one, but haven't. I watched the Sandman one, and I need to go back and watch the Black Saturday one. But for most part, I enjoyed this season of Dark Side of the Ring. But season 5, it gets on there for obviously that particular reason. Another series that was also made by the guys who did Dark Side of the Ring, that being Who Killed WCW. Obviously, I believe that was a 6-part episode, series, which basically goes into. It was kind of like a somewhat of the Monday Night War, but they want to tell you was like the full story and whatnot. Chris Jericho obviously did decline to appear based on his view that as the narrator of Dark Side of the Ring, he was closely associated with producers or whatever. But we had The Rock on here, which he helped produce the thing here. Goldberg, Bret Hart, Bischoff, Conan, Booker T, Kevin Nash. I think DDP did it. Surprised Sting didn't do that one because he was a major part of WCW and he works for AEW, so it was very weird that they did that. But I enjoyed that. Legend biography, Eddie Guerrero. Now, what people were wondering, well, why is that on here? Well. Well, I was going by the most viewed episode, and the most viewed episode, actually, well, not really, wasn't that one, but it was the one that a lot of people enjoyed a lot more. It did better in the ratings. It did obviously that episode did a 218K. But it was a 0.5 in the 18 to 49 demographic, which I think it's a good thing. But it was to me it was one of the better episodes that I saw, and I loved it, and I think it deserves a spot in there. So that being the Eddie Guerrero episode on Legends biography. WWE 24, Damian Priest gets on here because it was a really good documentary. WWE always kills it with the documentaries. It's very, very crazy, but he got on here, and so did the WrestleMania Behind the Curtain documentary. So that got on there as well, and then finally, the Mr. McMahon documentary. If I didn't put that on here, people would have said like, "Oh, kind of biased, whatnot," So. I personally didn't think the documentary was all that great, because they didn't cover anything I didn't already fucking know, outside of maybe the Shane wanting to kill his dad thing, which in hindsight probably should have done it. That's just me, but that is basically the 2 new categories added on the Misfit Wrestling Podcast Year-End Awards. Again, the Year-End Awards will go live. The voting polls actually will go live Saturday night following what show was it? No, Saturday night's main event and they're going to be open for a while. And I hopefully, when the opponent voting is over with, I can hopefully do a stream where I can reveal the winners. Which I gotta set. I gotta get more stuff for when it comes to stuff here. So, other than that, I have nothing else to add here. Yeah. So that's basically it. That's all I got to add here. No other news. I would like to thank John O'Lead and Christopher. Welcome to the Misfit Wrestling podcast. You can, if you if you're new here, you can check out my Raw review. That's on Monday. That went up on Monday. I did a watch along with Jason Ingram, Blitzball champ, on Saturday night for 5 hours of the stream with watching the Goddess of Stardom Tag League finals, and also I have a very short review up on what the hell's that damn show? Deadline. I don't think I did a SmackDown review. Let me look here. Now I'm second guessing myself here. Let me look. I don't think I did though. My ears. Now I'm hearing muffling here. Okay, so I didn't. So I didn't do any reviews last week outside of Raw, but I did, like I said, a 4-hour watch along. Goddess Tag League, did the Raw review. Deadline, which I would have done a longer Deadline review if I wasn't live for the watch along there. So yeah. So I will see you guys back here Friday night for SmackDown, and if things change when it comes to Saturday night's main event, I'll give you my new predictions. But right now, my predictions are going to remain the same. I'm going to get the heck up out of here. It's almost 2:30 in the morning. I'm going to try to get some sleep because I got some stuff to do tomorrow. And hopefully, I want to try to start recording some stuff for my WAW Pro Wrestling stuff I do on WWE 2K24, where I have my own Continental Classic that I got to get started. But yeah. Again, thanks John Elite for joining me. Chris, welcome to the stuff here. I'm going to try see what Jason's doing this weekend. If he wants to do watch along for Saturday night's main event, we'll find out. I'll see if he's cool to do that. I would love to see if I can get him to do some type of video while he's in Japan. We could talk about how he's enjoying Japan. We'll see. But until then, I've been Matt the Misfit. This has been the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. This is the Piledriver Pulse. I will see you guys later. We're going to play out my new song. So, good night. Peace out.